Hello and welcome to Back to the Feature with Evan and Gabby. Double features, double takes. This is the podcast where we talk about two films, one new, one older, what makes them a good pair, and how the history of films influences the present.
I'm Evan.
And I'm Gabby. And today we are discussing the drama and Force Majeure. Two films about the existential dread that comes alongside sharing your life with someone.
Oh my god, yes, so much existential dread.
Oh yeah, this was a real heavy watch, heavy week for me.
Yeah,
As somebody planning a wedding, somebody getting married. This one hit.
I don't want to say too much because the drama is very spoiler filled, so we'll have to navigate that.
We'll get into it. Don't worry.
But I have a lot of questions.
But it's like both the worst and the perfect movie to see with your new fiance, I'll say.
Oh man. Well, besides the drama, what else have you watched since we last recorded, Gabby?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I caught up with 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. They put it on Netflix.
Very fun.
And I watched it, and I just watched it in like the middle of the day on my day off. Maybe not like the best move by me, but I didn't expect it to. It was definitely not what I expected. Like as somebody who I really liked 28 Years Later, this is like super different tone than that, and just like felt honestly like a little therapized. But I didn't hate it. Usually I do hate that, but I didn't hate it, and I thought Ray Fiennes was giving he's giving like the performance of the year so far. And I'm not even kidding. Like, it sounds so dumb to say out loud, but I was like, he's killing this. And yeah, Jack O'Connell is great, playing another amazing villain. May Veneers never find that man. I love his crooked teeth. I love that he looks like a real person. It makes him so much scarier. And yeah, it has this one scene towards the end that is just like so far scene of the year for me. I was like,
wow.
This rips. Like, this is amazing. And I can't believe that they put this movie out in January and just like dumped it and did this again, like the second or third time that this has been done to Nia DaCosta. Justice for Nia DaCosta on this pod.
Yeah, truly. I mean, it seems like she hasn't had a great track history or
It's
track
like
record of her most recent movies getting good releases. Yeah.
It's
not
like
her fault, but...
No, it's not. It's like every time she makes like a more commercial movie, they like dump it. And it was really good. Like, she also she made Hedda last year, which was amazing, but got like no release from Amazon. I'm like, justice for Nia. Let's get her on the pod.
Yeah.
Tell us what's up. Break your NDA. I want to hear about it.
And I kind of want to know what's next for her too, especially because she's dabbling between franchise and I guess you could say Hedda is probably more of like an indie project.
Yeah, she strikes me as like somebody who's doing the one for them, one for me system, and like Hedda seemed like it was for her, and Bone Temple seemed like it was like, I mean, it definitely feels more like elements of it just feel a little more personalized and a little bit more like emotional and human. And I don't know if that's completely her touches or if it's also this, I don't want to like completely give no credit to Alex Garland, the screenwriter, but this movie feels like very down to earth, and in a way that like I feel like they're like 28 years later, if it came out last year, was not.
Right. Yeah. So I had two questions there. So 28 years later was shot on an iPhone. This was not an iPhone, a myriad of iPhones stitched together. Bone Temple was not shot on an iPhone. I feel like the visual, not that I've seen these movies, right? But a lot of the story
it looks different.
Yeah. So do you feel like because it wasn't using that technology, there was like something missing, or like, do you feel like...
No, I don't think anything was missing, but it definitely is a different style. Like you can tell
Mm,
pretty immediately that it's not a as like got that like shaky handheld like
mhm.
on the ground feeling that Danny Boyle and the iPhone brings to it.
Yeah.
But I think it works for what this movie is, and I think that the iPhone stuff worked for what 28 years later was.
Okay. And then like violence wise, gore wise, like is it
Ooh,
scarier than the other one? Like should I? Because I haven't seen any of
I
the movies,
don't,
but
I don't. It's gory.
mhm.
There are some scenes where you're seeing a lot of blood and a lot of gore. Um, I think 28 years later is worse. Um, but
Got it.
like the one from last summer.
Yeah.
But um I don't know. I don't find either of the movies scary, but I don't think that like they're not jump scare movies really.
Right.
They're not like they're very story forward and very character focused. So I don't know. I feel like it is something you could get through. I don't know if you would like the original 28 years later or 28 days later. Um I don't think you would like.
Yeah, I'm actually
I will
trying to
say that
think.
movie also, I know it's part of the appeal, but the original 28 Days Later looks like shit.
Right, right,
I
yeah.
know, but that's part of the aesthetic that it was filmed on like the cheapest possible camera, but the resolution to this day is awful. Like I
Yeah,
can't
it's
watch it.
tough.
It looks like it was shot on a potato. Like I can't watch it.
This is pretty funny because yeah, I think the only Danny Boyle movies I've seen are Slumdog Millionaire and Yesterday.
Ooh, that's tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I do think you would like 28 years later movies. But yeah, they definitely get a little gory. Not
That's
afraid.
yeah, I've seen clips or like I was watching someone on an airplane watch the 28 years later and I was like, "Whoa, that's really intense." But yeah,
Also, you're missing out, but you are missing out on Samson. Do you know about the character of Samson?
no.
Ooh, I don't know if I should spoil that for you,
Okay.
but he's a very big personality.
Got it. Okay. Well, we'll
Uh-huh.
see if we check it out or if I check it out.
Mhm.
I had the distinct pleasure of watching a 10 p.m. screening of the Super Mario movie because I thought we were going to cover
Ooh.
it, and then I decided that we shouldn't cover it because
Mhm. This was all
it's
on you. I want it on record. I'm glad that you said it. That was your call. I was ready to go see it. I didn't want to, but I was gonna do it.
I think it's just a thing where it's like it's it's like a bad movie. Like it's not good. I mean, I went
Mhm.
with Matt, friend of the pod Matt, and we were talking about it. We had a lot of fun watching it. We also saw it in ScreenX, helped break into ScreenX theater
Oh,
at the Burbank
okay.
16. If you don't know,
Mm.
ScreenX is where they project extra content. Oh man. AMC koozie if you're watching on video. Uh ScreenX is where they project quote unquote extra content on the sides of the
Yeah.
theater. It's only active for parts of the movie, and oftentimes, from what I believe, it's a separate company that handles the creation of those assets. So they're just like looking at the
Okay.
environment and seeing how logistically where the side should be and what you would be seeing on those. I've seen a few movies in ScreenX. It's not a format that I think is widely available, but maybe now at AMC it will be. It For animated movies it kind of rocks though because it
Oh.
honestly felt like a theme park or a theme amusement ride, and I think that is like the best thing you can say about this movie because there's some really fun sequences and there are some moments where the animation looks really good, but as like a movie it just goes so quickly. The plotting is so bad. The structure is weird. And so even as I was watching it, I was like, there isn't anything you can pair with this unless we were trying to
Yeah.
find another
Ooh,
cash
okay.
grab movie, you know?
Ha!
Um,
I mean, that would be a good pair actually because yeah, it's the most like movie that people were like this is going to make a lot of money movie of the
mhm.
year, but nobody has been excited about it. Like unless you're a small child. Like I don't think anyone's like excited for this movie.
Yeah, and even
It's just going to make a lot of money off the parents of those small children.
yeah, I mean, and my little cousins went and they had a great time watching it. But it was tough. I was even thinking, it's like, do we watch the live action Mario movie? because I think that one's actually
Oh,
kind of
we've seen
fun.
that. I've seen that with friend of the pod, Matt. Hmm.
I think it's kind of fun.
I mean, it's awful, but it's fun.
Yeah, and more fun than I think more awful and fun than um Super Mario Galaxy, which I think is just like regular bad, you know. But it was cool to see all the characters. Like I'm a big Nintendo fan, and it was really great to see there was a cameo character that Nintendo kind of leaked for themselves a couple days before the movie.
Mm.
That if you don't know what it is, just go in and watch the movie. I won't spoil it here, but that was really fun, and that character's inclusion made everything really goofy. Um,
Actually, that's the only thing you sent that to me, and I was like, actually, that's the only thing that might make me excited to see this movie.
yeah, I think you sent it to me because I already knew
Oh,
about it.
did I? Because
I
I
and I was like,
definitely somehow I saw it, and I was like, okay, I could get on board with this.
yeah, because it was a real press release. It wasn't like
Yeah, it
someone
was no, it
like
was
leaked a
real.
photo. It was they wanted to go public with this news, which made
Yeah,
no sense to me.
no.
But yeah, so that's what I watch. But this week I'll be watching The Color of Money again, which we paired with our Marty Supreme episode. There's
Are
a
you going to Vidiots?
I'm going to the Vidiot screening. Yeah, the late night
I got that
screening.
email.
They're due to new 4K scan or something, so I'm excited to see it. Excited to see it on the big screen too. I mean,
Yeah.
just I want to relive that opening scene, also the
Mm.
last scene too, and also when he gets hustled by Forrest Whitaker.
Let
So
me know
good.
how tall Tom Cruise's hair looks on the big screen. That was like that hairstyle. Whew, it was
Yeah.
giving 80s in an aggressive way.
Oh, incredible. Well,
Well,
should we talk about the drama and how we saw it?
I would love nothing more. As I mentioned, I saw this on a date with my fiance. It was opening night. We went and it was pretty packed. Everyone was like buzzing around the
Mm-hmm.
theater. We went to our beloved AMC 16, and it was a lot of couples, and that didn't
Mm.
surprise me. But I think that like it did make for a very memorable watching experience. There
Mm-hmm.
were like a lot of audible reactions, a lot of audible, yeah, like gags, laughs, like cringes. And I thought that that did make it more fun and like helped the comedy of this movie come through because
Mm.
ultimately I would say that this movie is not a drama, it's a black comedy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that seeing it with a big crowd of people who were like definitely bought in on the marketing campaign and like wanted to see what is the drama with their partners. Um, that really helped the experience. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, well, let's put a pin in the reaction thing because I do want to kind of talk about that a little bit more. Um, but yeah, I saw. Wait, did you also see it Thursday night at the 16 or Friday night?
Yes.
You saw it Thursday
Oh
night?
wait, no, no, no. I saw it Friday.
Okay,
Thursday was Passover.
that's right. No, so I saw it Thursday. I saw it the real opening night.
You did, you did.
With James, and we saw a pretty late showing. I think I may have had a beer, and I think the only reason I say that is because I do think if you're drinking alcohol during a movie, it does change your experience of it. So, and sometimes in good ways, sometimes in bad ways, right?
Yeah.
But the person next to James was having such big reactions to the movie. It was pretty wild. Our whole theater was too, but not to the degree that this one person was. And I remember James and I were talking about afterwards, and we were both like, yeah, I think that person could have like dialed it back like 10%, you know? But
They got the movie pour of wine and they wanted everyone in the theater to know.
yeah, because I feel like I went the opposite direction. Though I had some big reactions too to some of the moments, and rightfully so, because there's a lot going on in this movie.
There's so much going on in this movie. Like
Yeah.
a an amount that like yeah, I guess I it was brilliantly marketed and also not marketed correctly. I don't know. Like it was trying to wrong foot everyone.
Yeah.
to the point that like once the actual reveal happened, I was like, oh, the normies that bought tickets for this are gonna hate this.
That's interesting. Okay, well then let me make a note that we should talk about that because
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they because A24 went hard on the marketing for this. I got a save the date in the mail for the wedding of
What?
Charlie and Emma.
Are
Yeah, it's
you
on it.
cuz you're a
Hmm?
member? Are you a member?
Because
Is that
it's
why?
because I get the zine. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and it came like with their like monthly zine, and I
Mhm.
was like, they printed save the dates for this. And once again, as somebody going through wedding planning, I now know how expensive save the dates are. That's a lot. That's a lot of the marketing budget. It's not cheap.
But it's just another postcard.
I mean, yeah, but whatever. The drama was released April 3rd, 2026, was directed and written by Christopher Borgley, produced by Ari Aster, he of Midsommar and Eddington and Hereditary, an A24 producer, minted at this point, director and producer. Lars Knudsen and Tyler Campaleone, starring Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, Alana Haim, Mamadou Athie, Haley Gates, and Zoe Winters of Succession.
Love to see Zoe Winters of Succession and Materialists.
Oh, yes. But honestly, this scene, I'm ready to say Zoe Winters of the drama. She has one scene and I was dying. I was like on the floor of that
I
AMC.
really didn't think it was gonna get better than what they showed in the trailer, and it really
It was
did.
so it got so much better. I
Yeah.
was just immediately I was immediately in. Uh
Before we get into the summary, I feel like this is a good point to say that if you know nothing about the drama or have only seen like references in passing and you really want to go in blind, I think this is probably a good point to tap out because this is a movie where if you want to there's a thing about it, and if you want to have zero feelings and zero preconceptions about the thing that happens or the thing that is revealed or whatever, then you should not listen to anything at all.
yeah. I think this is a great movie to go in blind about. It just it does take you off guard and it is unexpected in very pleasurable ways, or maybe not so much if you don't like this kind of movie, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think overall, if you're like, is this a recommend from Evan and Gabby? For me, Evan, I say it's a recommend. It's maybe like a B minus for me.
Oh my god, spoken like a man who's not engaged to be wed. It's a strong recommend for me. I say take your person to see this and then ask each other some really hard questions on the drive home just for
All right.
fun.
That's okay. We got to get into this. Okay, cool.
Okay, okay.
All right, here we go. This plot summary, which now is part of Spoilerville for this episode.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay, before their wedding, Charlie, Robert Pattinson, and Emma, Zendaya, reveal the worst thing they've ever done to each other. Not to each other, but like,
Yeah. The worst thing they've ever done
period.
in their lives
In
to
their
each other.
lives.
Yeah.
Yes. And the couple is left to face the aftermath of this reveal and the effect it has on their friends, their wedding, which is a week away, and their relationship overall. Evan, you mentioned that this is a B minus for you. Um, why?
Yeah. So
What do you feel?
I really there's a lot that I like about this movie, and I left pretty like on a high. I was like, "Oh, that was really good. I feel really great about it." I think I am kind of gelling with like what the movie is trying to like talk about, which we'll get into, but ultimately, I think a lot hinges on this reveal that Gabby and I keep teasing, and I think that when you look at the movie and think it just feels like to me, the more I think about it, the more the movie is often just spinning its wheels in the result of this reveal and is
Mm.
not I just feel like it doesn't come to the meaningful um conclusions or I don't know. I think a lot of my not issues, but the things that just bump me the wrong way just end up being about the Robert Pattinson character and the way he is
Oh,
actually reacting to this information in the following days. But I think
interesting.
we can talk about a lot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I really liked the movie. I thought that's I was pleasantly surprised that the reveal is so early in the movie. Like
Yeah.
it's just within the first 20 minutes,
I mean,
and
it is like the first act break effectively of the movie, right?
I don't even know if we get that far. Like I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like that it gets shat like they're planning their wedding or they're doing dance lessons and then all of a sudden they're at this last tasting
Mm-hmm.
essentially like final days with their maid of honor and their best man who are another married couple and it just devolves into them all asking each other and revealing to each other the worst thing that they've ever done. Um and I don't know. I thought that we'll get to. I'm teasing it again. I thought that basically what is revealed that the Zendaya character did or did not do
Mm-hmm.
is kind of among the only like the only revelations or the only thing that your partner can say to you in the year of our Lord 2026 that would give you this precise response. Like I thought that the specificity of it was very telling and was pretty spot on. And I've seen people react to it in a way that we'll get into, but oh, it didn't deal with this enough, or it didn't go, far enough into depth about what it means that she was thinking about this. And I'm like, that's not what the movie's about. You
Yes,
know,
I agree with that.
that's not what the movie's about. Like, I think that would just be a different movie.
And
But
also, well, okay, keep going.
yeah, ultimately, yeah, as somebody who's getting ready to get married and spend my life with someone, I was I know that yeah, we'll get to why you bumped on the Robert Pattinson character, but I was like, if my partner told me this, I'm not sure, but I would have even as like low key or a reaction. Like I feel like he wasn't concerned enough. Like
Well, I think
I don't know.
that's so interesting. I feel like okay, all right. So let's stop
Let's say
dancing
what it
around it,
is.
right? Okay, so
Let's say what it is.
the reveal of the worst thing that they have done. Robert Pattinson character has he has kind of like a non-answer, and that's like not really explored any further.
It's not even clear if he actually did that or if he like made it up for
Right.
that purpose.
And
Like
his story was
he's
that he cyberbullied someone so bad that they dropped out of his school. That
yeah,
is like the story. That's very very much like cannot emphasize how not important that is
it's
because the
not.
reveal, the drama, so to speak, of this is that Zendaya's character Emma reveals that she planned to do a school shooting but never went through with it. And this causes the three other people at the table. Again, Charlie, Robert Pattinson's character, and then Alana Haim and Mamadou Athi's characters, the best man and the maid of honor, to have very uh, differing reactions to this. Alana Haim's character has the
Yeah.
biggest one because her cousin was
A victim
injured.
of a school
Of
shooting.
Yeah, well, she was paralyzed. She survived, but she was
Right.
paralyzed,
Right.
and it stresses Emma out so much that she projectile vomits,
Mhm.
and that then it leaves the characters to kind of deal with this on their own. So again, that is the reveal, right? That she had planned to do school shooting when she was a middle schooler, high schooler, right?
I think she's
She's
yeah,
15,
maybe a
15, so she's in high
freshman.
school. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she's like a freshman or sophomore. They don't, as I said earlier, they don't really dive very much into this time other than for kind of comedic effect. Um, like this time in her life, where like it's not explained. Like we're just meant to interpret that her parents are not around,
Mm-hmm.
that she is being like picked up and moved to different places a lot. We later like kind of can infer that she was an army brat, but like
Mm-hmm.
that's later. Like her dad gives a speech at the wedding, and I'm like, oh, this is deep in Act Three. That we're learning this for sure. But um, it kind of yeah uses her younger self for comedic effect, which I thought was effective and non-effective at certain times. Like the scene where they cut to her like trying to record a manifesto while she's like holding her father's rifle and like
Mm-hmm.
the webcam keeps getting cut loose or something. I was like, all right, that's really funny. Like you're being stopped from recording literally by like 2008 technology. Um but yeah, we don't delve into the psychology of her character. Like Charlie asks her a lot of questions, but she doesn't have, I don't know. Did you feel like she had real answers?
Yeah, I mean, I think it ends up coming together really well. Is that you have this kid who feels really abandoned and feels really like a loner in that kind of community, and she wants to just like make a statement for herself and do something that she feels is like radical. And then the reason that she doesn't
Right.
go through with it is because another mass shooting happens and it kills one of her
Yeah.
classmates, and she realizes like, oh, this is actually like really upsetting. And instead she becomes like an advocate for
Yeah.
gun control, kind of unwillingly at
Oh,
first, but
that's
then
interesting. Is that what you thought of the like, is that how you interpreted like I interpreted it a little bit differently that I thought that she backed out. I mean, not because necessarily because of the shooting, but because she kind of found friends and like community that was not into what she like that would clearly reject what she was planning. So she like did a hard pivot into the like to joining their like they these new friends of hers, they
sure,
start
yeah.
like an anti gun like pro gun control kind of group at the school to prevent gun violence. And she's like the spokesperson of it because
Yeah.
suddenly she's being lifted up. And I interpreted it as that, like that she needed like community, she needed friends, she needed some people to talk to, like to be
Yeah,
not
yeah.
so isolated.
I think let's say yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I feel like I said it in different words, but yeah, that's effectively I feel like that's how she gets there. Um so yeah, I think when we talk about the movie about whether it handled the school shooting as something to meaningfully engage with, what you were saying earlier, Gabby, about that's not what the movie is about, is because yeah, it's not about mass shootings. It's about um how do you trust someone in your life when they've done something or plan to have done something so reprehensible and awful, but decided to become a different person after deciding not to do that, you know? Like, just because a
Right.
human being has the capacity to think and almost execute a terrible thing doesn't mean that they're beyond forgiveness or beyond like who you know
Right.
them to be now, right?
Right. Does it mean that they are not the person that you fell in love with? And I think that
Mhm.
that's what Charlie is really struggling to understand is, you know, well, the person that I fell in love with would never be capable of thinking this because
Mm.
he only knows post gun control, you know, teen
Mhm.
rallying Emma. He knows her as an adult who she turned out to be, and apparently he doesn't know about this chapter of her life very much at all. So I mean, I imagine that if the shoe were on the other foot, like yeah, it's something that you don't want to ever say to anyone, and like or admit that you thought about, or you know, I don't know. I kind of did you have the feeling of like oh, so she hasn't told him anything about this time in her life, or she just was keeping this one thing from him.
I mean, I think she was like I was like kind of a different kid when I was like younger. I was like, I think she says she's like, "Oh, I was like really nerdy and blah blah blah." And like um probably didn't feel like it was important to need to bring that up, you know.
Uh, I mean, because I that was a big part of like what me and my partner talked about, kind of after the movie was. I think that like the intent is important. Like, did she purposefully keep this from him, or was this
Mm.
just like something that she was so embarrassed about, or so you know ashamed of that she was going to take it to her grave if she wasn't like a little too drunk at her like final tasting and playing this game.
Yeah. I mean, I think she probably would have taken it to her grave, but I think that my interpretation of it was that she didn't think it was like a big deal anymore because she's like, I never did it. And I've never had thoughts about to do that ever since because it's not coming from a place of like I want to murder a bunch of people. As we've
No,
talked about, it comes from like wanting attention and wanting to like stand up for herself, right?
right.
Um and I think that's why, obviously school shootings, very terrible thing, very real thing, and so when you use it as like a device in a film, especially when there's like comedic effect around it, there is, it's like should he have engaged with it more because of the gravity of the situation? But it's also being used as a device to talk about, these ideas that we're going through right now. And so it's a little tricky, there is like this kind of nuance and gray area of it that
But
it's
I
it's hard
think
to
that's what I
really,
really liked about it.
100%, yeah. Just trying to speak for the other side that's upset about it.
Yes, of course. I totally see why people would be upset about this. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely, I mean, not something to be laughed at. It's very serious. It's an epidemic specifically in this country, and it's seemingly not going away. It's not changing anytime
Mhm.
soon. It's a devastating reality that we all live with. Um and I think that one of the most compelling parts of the movie to me was the scene in which Charlie goes to try and convince Rachel to still come to the wedding because
Mhm.
she has apparently called Emma and said like I'm not going to come to the wedding, like, and she's the maid of honor, like that's kind
Mhm.
of a big deal. So Charlie goes and tries to convince her, and he says like, well, isn't his character's not American, and he's like, isn't this not so abnormal here? And like obviously I think that the Alana Haim character is brilliantly evil.
Yeah.
uh and their reactions to that are like kind of offensive and like a little like American pride about it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, he's kind of right, he's got us. And like it's only a problem here. And then I thought that the closest that the film comes to like a thesis on like gun violence and shooting culture in this country is in that scene when Charlie is expressing that we don't know how many people we are walking amongst every day who have ever
Yeah.
had these thoughts.
Yeah.
Like it's just like statistically in this country, you're more than likely to encounter somebody who has had these thoughts or planned to do something very similar to this.
Mhm.
And his point is like, isn't it better that we know?
Yeah.
Like it's not like she lied. And then he lies and says that it's because of some trauma in her childhood. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
all right, Charlie, you almost got there. You were almost like too rational about it. But again, this movie like lives and thrives in the gray area of
Mhm.
like, you know, how okay is this? But that really stuck with me, and that was like the sticky, like provocative part of the movie to me, is that I think that yes, Christopher Borgley clearly wants to make a movie about the uncertainty of spending your life with somebody and making a commitment to someone who has, even if you're very young, like Zendaya and Robert Pattinson are in this movie, they're probably in their early 30s. That this person always had a life before you, and there will always be things about them that you don't
Mhm.
know. I think that that's fascinating, but I think he also wants to say something more provocative. Like, you don't know. You could be taking the subway next to somebody who has planned a shooting.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah,
And that's horrifying. That's
yeah.
horrifying. And I see why you can't really make a movie about just that. You can't.
Yeah, but I mean, you could even like you just to stay in the political lane, I guess, for a second. It's like you could even say that this is like it's an allegory too for like did you vote for Trump and never tell anybody, right?
Oof,
Like,
that's a bad one.
and
Rough one.
I'm saying like that is also a version of the reading on this, right? Like any like quote unquote bad thing that you never know what the person next to you has done or thought about doing, right? And I
Right.
think like you said, the specificity too of like her thinking about doing it but not doing it is, I think, ultimately what I think where this movie ends up like being able to keep pulling on this argument for so long, right? It's like, well, what was the reasoning, and would she ever have done it, and blah blah blah. Um, so yeah, I thought, yeah, I think it's really really interesting. I was very surprised that that's what the drama of the drama ended up being. You know, I feel like
Well,
in
I
a
don't know.
million years.
It's not the whole drama though. I mean, because it's kind of just like the drama that kicks off the rest of the drama
Hmm.
because like the whole movie has drama. Like your maid of honor dropping out of your wedding 2 days before the wedding, that's drama. Early in the movie they think that they see their DJ
Oh yeah.
smoking meth. I think is it meth?
Ye-
Um,
yeah.
and like that's drama, and um, and then Charlie like kind of kind of cheats. I don't know. He like tries
Yeah.
to hook up with his inferior at work. A little questionable, Charlie.
Yeah.
I think she's like his assistant or something, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what ruins the wedding. It's not even like Emma is paranoid throughout the wedding that people
Hmm.
are talking about this shooting thing or that everybody knows that her parents know. That was kind of a moment for me in the movie because they finally show her parents and I was like, "Oh, do they have no idea? Like do they have no idea that their child was about to do this ever?"
Oh yeah, definitely. They
Like
definitely
they
had
have
no idea.
no idea. Like I'm like, how do they think she became deaf in that ear? Like her whole like there we learn very quickly in the movie that she's deaf in one ear, and then we learn that it's because of her like a reaction to using her father's rifle to practice.
Yeah.
Uh and I'm like, oh, so nobody knows about this. And she becomes very paranoid. But actually, the drama at the wedding is because Charlie gets into a fist fight and gives the worst speech of all time.
It's so
Uh,
bad. It's
it's
so
so
bad.
bad. Like the movie opens with him writing like a beautiful speech to give to Emma, and
Hmm.
then it just devolves into this like utter slop, and it's really embarrassing for him and her and their families. Like his everyone's looking at him like, what is wrong with this man?
Yeah.
And then he gets punched in the face by this woman's boyfriend.
Oh yeah, by his coworker Misha's boyfriend. Yeah.
Yes.
Um yeah, that, I mean, cuz then that is so interesting that he like, for lack of a better phrase, he does crash out and he tries to like hook up with his coworker. But like in a moment of pure, like, it's not excusable, but it is coming from like high stress, and like it's very odd,
It's
and
weird that that's his impulse is like
yeah.
to do something messy, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's not like I don't know. That part of the movie didn't super work for me because I mean, I think that it is supposed to be showing us that he's acting out of character. Like he
Mhm.
doesn't seem like that kind of character, but I it didn't super work for me because it's not like his coworker was offering him comfort or like anything that he needed in that moment that I could kind of buy into why
Why
he
he'd
was
want to
going for
do that.
that. I was
I
like, is
mean,
he yeah. I was
is
like,
it
it's not
cuz
like
he's like horned up from like the pictures of like women with guns, that like that
oh
book
my
that keeps
god.
being placed on his desk, and he
And
like
he's like
can't.
weirdly aroused by, but he can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did think that that was funny also, but
Yeah.
maybe. But yeah, it didn't super click for me.
Yeah.
But I understand that they need that in order for him to get into a fight that basically ends their wedding.
Yeah.
Uh, it seems like the wedding wraps up after that, huh? Like everybody just goes home, like pack it up.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. And then like the last 5 to 10 minutes are, I think, honestly pretty beautiful. Like, I don't know if I 100% like love the ending, but I do think like how we get there and how it's executed is very beautifully done. Where he Charlie goes home and he plays this song that Emma always plays to like piss him off or whatever. It's a great song. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, to like rile him
Um,
up.
and it's so good. And then there's this incredible shot where he's dancing by himself because she's like, "We should just dance like normal people," but he's dancing by himself, and he's like holding himself, like hugging himself, and it's shot from behind as if someone is holding him. And I thought it was like so what a great image. And then it ends with this thing that they had kind of teased. A lot of this movie works in bookends, honestly, and payoffs like
Yes.
this. But it you know they go to this they go he goes to a diner, and he like tries to get food. He's waiting for the food, and then she shows up as well. And then they like kind of have a like role
A meet cute.
play, yeah, role
Yeah.
play meet cute where like they don't know each other. And then it's like echoes of like something they had done earlier, but then also kind of how they met to begin with, where they're like, let's start over.
Right.
Because
Eh,
he approaches her in the beginning of the movie, not knowing she's deaf. But like that whole it's this whole thing where it's like he's interested in her, but he doesn't know the breadth of who she is. He doesn't know that
right.
she's deaf in one ear, and he's still into it, right?
Oh
So,
yeah.
but not that that's something that would turn anyone off, but I'm just saying, like,
No,
yeah,
but yeah, the whole you want to start over thing is like
yes,
it's a motif in the
yeah,
movie, and I liked it. I thought that it was like the movie again, it doesn't totally get there for me because I don't think that his crash out is nearly as bad or as like, it's not holding a candle to her reveal. Like I
yeah,
honestly I would have reacted way worse like than
because I
whatever
think
he does.
that's right, because we mentioned this earlier. I think his breakdown is because he's trying to keep it together so much that he doesn't have like the bigger thing. But I feel like the bigger thing is what you would do, and I feel like it's a little bit more natural for a movie that does feel a little bit more grounded in that. So to see him kind of like be very befuddled and blah blah blah, I guess in a way it's like a little British. We could assume it's a
Yeah.
little British, but that's not. I don't know. There's just scenes where I wanted a little bit more of what you were saying, right? A little bit more like openness to talk about this thing, to be open. But he's like, wait, it's actually kind of fine, and I don't know, like
Right. It's also like he doesn't want to think about it too much, and I get that. Like,
yeah,
you don't you want to go back to. I interpreted it as him wanting to go back to a time when he did not know this information.
yes, exactly. And so it's
But
very
I think
consistent.
at
That's
the
the thing,
yes,
Yeah,
but I think that the end of the movie is trying to make us feel like, well, they kind of deserve each other, or they kind of are good for each other, or well matched in a certain way. And I just don't think that it really gets there for me. Like, I don't necessarily, like, I thought it was cute. I thought it was a tidy ending, but I didn't feel like, oh, yes, this feels like a natural
sure. Yeah, I
response.
agree. Yeah, because I think ultimately my read on it is that like they're trying to get back to that. The ending is like now we both have done something shitty or thought about doing something shitty. Is
I
this is the new
mean,
normal? Can we start from here, right? And not that these things should cancel each other out or anything, right? Like in a real relationship, not a movie relationship. Like there's a lot that you'd have to talk through.
a lot of talking in a serious relationship.
Yeah.
Um, but let's talk about the stars of the movie.
Yeah.
This movie was really sold on Zendaya and Robert Pattinson,
Hmm.
and I feel like mostly Zendaya, and then you are a little disappointed when it turns out to be more of the a Robert Pattinson character's movie.
Yeah.
I think that's part of your disappointment.
Maybe, but I think it's just because every movie I see Zendaya in, I just want to see more of her, and it's because I haven't watched Euphoria. To
Oh,
me, I'm just like, why is she
you should
always like the supporting character?
you should watch the first season of Euphoria and only the first season of Euphoria.
Yeah, okay.
We're recording this as season 3 is premiering, by the way.
Oh,
Uh,
that's right. Yeah.
but are they movie stars? Are they romantic leads? Are they, are they kind of are already, but are they becoming kind of staples of their generation? It's a huge year for them. I mean, obviously, Robert Pattinson has been famous since Twilight, since Harry Potter. Like, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's a recognizable face and name. Zendaya has been around for a while at this point. We've had like a decade of Zendaya since the beginning of her beginnings on Disney Channel, since Euphoria. it feels like a lifetime ago, but her and Tom Holland did the first Spider-Man. That was like
Yeah.
8
I
years
mean, it
ago.
was a lifetime ago. It
Yeah,
was 10
they're
plus years
married. They're
ago.
literally married now.
Yeah.
And this is a huge year specifically for Robert Pattinson and Zendaya as a duo. Um, they have the drama, they have the Odyssey, and they have Dune 3.
Mhm.
They're in all three of those movies together. And I'm like, okay, is this like a new pairing that we need to be aware of?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know how much they're going to be interacting with each other in those movies. Probably
I
the
don't think
most
very
will
much,
be
but
Dune 3, but yeah, I think it's a good call out because I think they are. I mean, I think it has been really interesting to watch Robert Pattinson's post Twilight career, right? This is not new. I feel like starting with The Lighthouse, he kicked off something really
uh,
interesting for him. And I think he just has really good instincts on like what he wants to do and how he wants to get there, you know?
he has really good taste.
Yeah.
He has like really, really good discerning taste when it comes to choosing projects. Like I
Hmm.
don't think he's made very many movies since Twilight that I would say are not successful in a certain way.
Yeah. I guess maybe how
Maybe
is
that
That My
one
Love?
weird I honestly I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, same.
Um my understanding is that his part is not very large in that movie. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
just the Jennifer Lawrence show. But
Yeah.
I would say maybe his least successful movie is a very little seen movie where I think he plays Salvador Dali.
Oh,
um,
yeah.
it's a
Probably.
very like little scene. I don't know, but
Hmm.
anyway, it just seems like their stars are very on the rise, and I think it's interesting to see them paired together. You know, kind of as a they're going to be obviously having the most screen time in this movie.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I doubt that they're going to interact anything f at all in the Odyssey, and maybe in Dune 3. I don't know. I haven't read Dune Messiah.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see if they do become something like a Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone type duo going forward, or just
Yeah,
people that work
because
together really well. Yeah,
yeah, I enjoyed both of them in this movie. I know you didn't enjoy the Robert Pattinson character, but
yeah, I think it's the character versus the actor. Yeah.
yeah,
While we're on the topic of casting, Alana Haim, I felt like I felt like the character, like you said, was brilliantly evil. That was a great phrase by you. I feel like I just wanted like 20% more. And honestly,
more.
James and I were no, we were just talking like who could have done a better job. Because I feel like she didn't
Oh,
quite get
mhm.
there.
I disagree. I think that she was like really embodying like and I'm gonna make this about meanness that is specific to like white women in their 30s. And I can say this as someone who's half white and in her 30s. But like a very like, but what about me? How does this impact me? My cousin was a survivor
Yeah.
or like and she really gives like I'm not going to say the C word on the podcast, but she give that's the word I would use,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
she's giving bitch in a way that I don't I think we haven't seen her do. I mean, in part
Oh,
because she
100%. Yeah.
hasn't been in a lot of movies. But I liked her a lot in this role, and I was like, honestly, are we reaching an era where Alana Haim's going to be an actress? Like we're gonna like really?
I mean,
But
I
I
think
thought,
so.
yeah,
I had no
yeah,
idea she was in this movie at all.
yeah. Until they started doing press, I didn't know, but
Yeah.
I thought that yeah, that character was. I've seen a lot of articles and reels, TikToks of people saying that that's the real villain of the movie,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't know about that. I don't know if I would go that far. I would say that basically everyone in this movie, except for the Alana Haim character's husband, is like kind of shitty. like, like everyone except for him. He seems like a nice guy, and frankly, I'm like, what is he doing with her? But
Yeah, yeah. He
I'm
was
like, they don't.
actually, you know what he had done previously? He
No, this is
was
the first time I've seen him.
he was the water boy in Elemental.
No,
Ah!
no, a movie I hate. No, another movie about weird race dynamics in a relationship. No.
Love that guy.
I wish him the best. He's the only likable character in this film.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I think that's on purpose, and I kind of have a little caveat here, a little place for us to talk about the rise of what I call the anti rom-com, where
Interesting.
these movies that have all the elements of a romantic comedy but are not romantic comedies, you know, like Materialists last year, and you know, like movies that they're very much iterating on a structure, but they're taking it and kind of making it more cynical. And I'm like, wow, does that just say a lot about us now as a culture and how we are in
Yeah.
relationships?
Okay, I can get behind that because at first I was like, is this just I was like, how much is this just like the marketing and trying to play to what people know? But, it's no secret that rom-coms are kind of dead at the box office. Like it's becoming relegated to something that's saved for streaming. And so I do like that idea of iterating off the form of it to really dive into the drama of it, or in this case of the black comedy of it, to use beats that are subconsciously really familiar to us but end up being something else in execution. That's really good art. That's a really good point. I like that.
Yeah, I just feel like we're getting an increasing amount of the kinds of movies that do make it to theaters that are kind of these date night movies end up being a little bit cynical or bittersweet and have ideas, which I appreciate. But sometimes, yeah, the rom-coms that we watch at home, I don't know. The ones that are made now at least, they don't have a lot of ideas.
Yeah, the idea is usually contained to one scene and you're like, oh, that'd be interesting if the whole movie was about that, you
And
know
then it's like, oh no, she forgot something at my apartment. That means I have to go see her.
yeah,
Like,
maybe that should be the feature you write, Gabby.
yeah, but how did you know? I was just clipping it from my final draft that's open right now. But yeah, I just think it's interesting as like an evolution of the romantic comedy to kind of
Yeah.
be into like this anti rom com. And I wonder if we will eventually come all the way full circle back to romantic comedy because I don't know, Gen Z and Gen Alpha are like very sincere. Like they're
Yeah, I
very
mean, I think people
emotionally sincere, and that's fine. They haven't been jaded yet.
and a lot of the stuff that's really like doing the rounds on social media are things like that, in that world and in that vein. And so it does feel like it will come around, but to your point, like it might just not it might just need a little bit more depth to it. Yeah.
Which is great. I love a
Yeah.
movie with depth. It makes it interesting. I mean, this movie is designed to be provocative. It
Yeah.
just is. And they hid the ball really well with that in the marketing.
Mhm.
You know, I think that they teased that there being an issue, but they did an amazing job at keeping this under wraps. Everyone in my theater audibly gasped, I would say. There were a lot of reactions. There were a lot
Yeah.
of just like, oh, like that's what this is? And me and my fiance looked at each other like, oh God. Like
Yeah,
it
I
was,
mean, I definitely was like jaw drop when the reveal happened, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
yeah.
I guess the source material is. I was like, part of me was like, "Is it just because these are like younger stars that we know?" But like, no, I think the source material is genuinely like shocking.
It is.
And yeah,
And I think that it's designed to be that way. It is designed to provoke. And personally, I love movies like that. I love when you go to a movie and you sit there and there are people squirming and there are people laughing at the right times, but for the wrong reasons. And you know, I felt like we did leave the theater and we were like, we need to talk about this for like the next hour. Like, we need to talk about this movie. And then, of course, if you saw this movie and you're in a relationship, you are going to ask each other, what's the worst thing you've ever
oh
done?
no,
And I will not reveal that on pod
oh
for me
no,
or my fiance. But it's not even close to this, which was a huge relief.
oh my gosh, yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
phew,
very few things could be, but
yeah.
you know, in a way, it brings you closer.
That's
And
true.
speaking of hypothetical events that have the power to forever alter a relationship, let's jump into force majeure.
And we're back to talk about Force Majeure, which premiered May 18th, 2014 at the Cannes Film Festival, directed and written by Ruben Ostlund, produced by Eric Hemmendorf, Marie Kelson, and Philip Boubert, starring Johannes Bachung, Lisa Leuven-Kongsley, Christopher Hiju, Vincent Wettergreen, Vincent Wettergren, Clara Wettergren, Fanny Matelius, and Karin Faber. So this Ruben Ostlund is a Swedish filmmaker. This is a Swedish film. The lead, female lead in this movie, the character Ebba, she is Norwegian, but a lot of this movie is in Swedish. So
Correct.
looking at this film and just kind of the performance at the box office and things like that, the drama has had a really strong opening couple of weeks here. It's earned $42.7 million so far. That's pretty strong for an original dramedy.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
impressive.
that's great. I'm curious to see what legs it has too.
The A24 machine at work.
Yeah.
Um, I am curious to see if the reveal kind of being out in the ether now makes people more or less compelled to see it.
Mm,
I will say that we talked about it and spoiled it for my future in laws, and they were more interested in seeing it.
interesting. I think there's gonna be an element of people that are more intrigued by the broader conversation it has, you know?
Right.
Um, because honestly, oh, we should have talked save this. Well, we'll talk about it now, whatever. I honestly thought it was going to be. Oh, I thought it was gonna be a murder, so I guess I wasn't too far off.
Oh, okay. That was not my guess was that she was implicated in some kind of like manslaughter or some situation where like it wasn't really her fault, but it kind of was, and that maybe she had like a sealed record of some kind. That was
Okay,
my
so
guess.
we were circling it for sure, you
Yeah.
know.
I was like it's got to be something bad, but like very gray area.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Anyways, well, back to this. Force Majeure earned $4 million worldwide, and was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film at the Oscars. It also won like a ton of awards at Sweden's like Oscars
Yeah.
equivalent. So obviously made some huge waves for the movie, and Ruben Ostlund got to do Triangle of Sadness shortly after this. Or not shortly, but
He did the
he did another
square
movie.
in between.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think this is his best film. I was really like team Ruben Ostlund after this film came out,
really,
and
okay.
yes, and I was like really intrigued by it. The concept, like I thought that it was really well done, and just like yeah, I hadn't seen anything quite like it. And I saw it when it came out. I rewatched it again for this, but I can't say that I'm really a fan of his current work. I don't. I didn't like Triangle of Sadness. I thought it was really
Interesting.
like hitting you over the head with its opinions and like was like, look, rich people are bad. And I was like, got it. Got it. like
Yeah,
I got
it's a little obvious. Yeah.
I just yeah, like I feel like for to go from like this, which is a movie with a lot of nuance and a lot of, you know, questions and a
Hmm.
lot of like different shades in different relationships to then just go to like something very overt like that
Yeah.
really kind of has turned me off a little bit on his career. Um his next movie is allegedly coming out later this year. The Entertainment System is Down. It has Keanu Reeves and Kirsten Dunst. Um, I will be sitting. I will be seated. I will be seeing it. It sounds just like to me from the premise that it's going to be another Triangle of Sadness, but on a plane. And
Well, but this one it helps even everything out because everyone's playing TV system is gonna be off, you know?
right, so everyone's on equal footing. But to me, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that like, oh, people can't live without their devices and their entertainment, so they devolve into like, cavemen again or something on this plane. I'm like, great.
But how many real life examples is this based off of? Because I just feel like I know so many people, or not, I've not know, but I've seen so many people get upset The thing doesn't work, and they get so mad about it.
I mean,
Um,
people's behavior on planes is not who they really are, okay? It's like a shadow being, that just like is only present in the air. That's the only way that I can square it with myself when I see somebody like taking off their shoes and socks on a plane. I'm like, they are not aware. They're not in their body right now. They don't know.
I think maybe that's the funniest thing you've ever said on this podcast.
I'm not even
Because
trying to be funny.
I
It's
know,
just
I
like that's my actual theory.
but calling them a shadow being is so funny to me for some reason. But it's because it's true. I mean,
It is.
airports are like specifically like pretty lawless. I don't know.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It's the only place where I condone leashing your children. Put them, lock them up.
Lock
No.
them up. So yeah, I think I like Triangle of Sadness more than you. That was also the only Ruben Ostlund movie I'd seen prior to
Oh,
watching
really?
this.
Okay.
And so watching this movie, I'm glad that we were originally going to record this a couple days ago, and we just
Hmm.
had to push for varying reasons, and I'm really glad we did, because I think if I had tried to force this into the available time that I had, I would have just like really not liked this movie. I've been like, oh, it's so slow because I just need to finish it to watch the podcast, to do the podcast. But so much of that is like part of the design of this movie, and it does feel like kind of distinctly European.
It's very
um,
European, but they did make an American version of this movie called Downfall, uh,
Downhill.
Downhill with
Yeah.
Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I
Hmm.
find it insufferable. So like
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Well, it's interesting to know that they made a remake of this movie that's like more expressly comedic, because watching this movie, I was like, "Oh, I can see the elements in which someone would be like, "Wait, this would be a great comedy." But it's also
Yeah.
just like totally missing the point of the movie,
Mhm.
because I think there's like things that are funny like the drama, but this is like
Yes.
definitely much darker than that. And
No,
honestly, it's just
this
like
movie's
more
dark.
dramatic, you know? Yeah.
This movie is very dark, and there's a reason. That's the reason why I suggested it to you, is because it has these like comedic effects, and it has these like, it's kind of masquerading as a different kind of movie to
Mhm.
begin with, and the film ends up following marital tensions after an apparent avalanche in the French Alps, during which the husband in this case prioritizes his own escape to safety over that of his wife and their two small children. And then the avalanche turns out to be kind of, yeah, controlled,
It's
or
a
like,
controlled avalanche that kinda
yes,
gets out of hand, but doesn't do any real damage.
there's no real damage, and then obviously it passes, and the husband looks horrible. Like in that situation, it's
Yeah,
like, oh, so you were gonna be fine. Me and the kids would
even
have died horribly.
even if this movie, like, we'll talk about it, and even if you're like, "I don't know if I would watch this," that scene by itself, just in
Just watch
isolation,
the scene.
that could be, you could do that as a short film, if as a proof of concept, and sell the whole, make a feature
Yep.
out of that, you know? It's like,
Yep.
this is what the feature film will be about, the aftermath of this short film. And that whole scene is so good, because the dad is like, everything's fine, and Tomas is his name. He's like, everything's
Yeah.
fine, everything's fine. The avalanche goes crazy. Gabby described perfectly what happens. And then when he comes back, he sits down. Everyone sits down like nothing has gone wrong. In the
Yeah.
meantime, those kids were so scared. Like the way that they're
Yeah.
yelling for their
And their
dad in the
father
moment,
fucking left them.
so scary. Oh my god, it was terrible. I was like, this
Yeah.
is so well done.
Yeah. It is, yeah. I get what you're saying. It's a very European movie. It's very lengthy. It's very,
Hmm.
it takes its time with what it wants to get across to you, but that one
Yeah,
scene is
so good.
a masterclass
Yeah,
of like putting the concept of your film in one scene.
no
And
movement too. Locked up,
no
completely
movement.
locked off shot, wide shot. Yeah.
And the whole movie just unfolds into, again, this they talk about it, they argue about it kind of with friends that are also at this resort.
Mhm.
Other married couple that they know that has a little bit of a looser relationship than they do, which I guess was maybe controversial when at the time of this movie coming out, and
Oh,
now it's
which
just kind of
guy?
normal.
The American guy?
The guy that like he's like him and his wife are like, I guess they have an open relationship.
Oh, okay. So
That's like normal now. So it's not as
yeah,
provocative
yeah.
as it used to be.
Well, and that also, I think if we're speaking about the same couple, the first couple that they speak
Yeah,
to,
the first
that's just
couple.
that's just like a random dude she picked up at the like
Right. Yeah, it's
they're
not her
not married.
husband.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. But it's like it's a friend of Ebba's, the wife, the main
Yes.
family's wife, who is just like sleeping with different men at this
All right.
fancy
And
resort, you know.
she's like, I don't care that my husband sleeps with other
Yeah.
women. Like yeah. It was probably more provocative when this movie came out than it
Yeah.
is now. But um yeah, I just think that the way that they talk about this incident repeatedly, and the way that it takes on like kind of different shades every time. Like it's
Mhm.
never it is the same argument, but it's also not at all the same argument. It is
Yeah.
so delicious.
Which I think that's like when you describe it that way, we could also say that about the drama, but I think that Force Majeure does it more effectively because the characters actually have real conversations about it, as opposed to Robert Pattinson's character just being it's all very internal for him, and he's just very
Yeah.
flustered a lot of the time, you know.
Yes, we only really get one scene in the drama where he's like really confronting and asking questions to
Mhm.
Emma, and even then he's being really like gentle. And this says to me, again, someone who is not yet married, this couple is giving married. Like they've been together for a while, their relationship clearly has
Mhm.
other issues. There are other things that have transpired, like they've been
Mhm.
through a lot. They have two kids, like this is just like another layer of like how could like this how could you get worse?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's already Tomas, not a great husband. Not great.
Yeah, I mean, the son very early on in this whole thing, he even yells at his dad, "I think you guys are gonna get divorced." And
Yeah.
it's like not really addressed until much later in the movie that that could be something real, because we know that they both feel very differently about this event that happened, right? Like,
Yeah.
Tomas feels like he didn't abandon his family. He tries to deny it, you know, whereas Ebba
Idiot.
it has a very real. She's like, no, this actually happened, and we actually. She
Yeah.
realizes later we filmed it. It's on
Yeah.
camera.
She's like, this is factual. I'm
Yeah.
presenting you with a fact. And he's like, and I'm presenting you with that I was just gonna dig you out. When he says that, I'm just like, man, you don't get it.
Yeah.
But I would argue that yeah, like the way that they're able to talk about this in the movie is kind of colored by them already being married and
Mm.
having other issues. And I think that Charlie's reaction is colored by him not yet being married and like still kind of treating this gently as if it's maybe their first huge hurdle. This couple
Mhm.
has seen some other hurdles. So
Yeah.
this is just like another layer of like, huh, well, this marriage is not going as planned.
Yeah. And I think in the drama, I think isn't there a line that says they got engaged pretty quickly?
There
Maybe I'm
might be.
misremembering. Yeah.
I think
Anyways,
they
regardless.
do say something about how he's like maybe not her yeah, her first love
Oh,
and
yeah, he is
something
her
like that.
first. Yeah, yeah.
She says she hasn't had any boyfriends or anything, not that you have
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
a
yeah.
boyfriend, but like um yeah, they're in college or
Yeah.
so, like in school when they meet, and yeah, it just seems a little bit juvenile
Yeah.
compared to Force Majeure. Force Majeure feels like the you know the 20 years down the line version of
Mhm.
10, maybe less, maybe 10 to 15 years down the line version of Charlie and Emma.
Yeah.
um but it's fascinating to me, like just to watch it and to see the different forms that this same argument takes, and
Yeah.
ultimately what Tomas's response is, which like towards the end of the film, and I did kind of watching this after the drama kind of put into perspective for me what I felt like I was missing from the Zendaya character. Um, for like in the drama, I
Mm-hmm.
was missing that kind of breakdown moment that Tomas has,
Mm,
where he admits that he's a piece of shit and he's not a good
yeah.
husband and he's been unfaithful and you know, he's not a great dad and all these things that he regrets and just how this is another thing that's going to make him feel like shit for the rest of his life, kind of. And I think that that's a very powerful moment and it's like obviously the moment that this movie is building towards for this
Mm-hmm.
couple, and I just felt like I didn't realize it until after I watched this, but I was like, I would have liked a moment like that from Emma.
Yeah, because she's mostly like uh she's like it's in the past, that's it. And she's very like firm about that going through the whole thing. So yeah, I agree with that. It would have been great to see a little bit more from her.
I think it just would have given the movie a little more closure, like
Mhm.
a little more full circle. It maybe would have made it feel like her even having this thought did have some ultimate ramifications, that it did have some, yeah, repercussions in her life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, same with Tomas, but Tomas now he leaves this movie knowing.
Well, okay, let's talk about the end of the movie then, because I feel like there's two endings to this movie. There's one where the family goes on a group ski trip after Tomas's breakdown, you know.
Hmm.
They ski down a very cloudy slope. It's the scene behind me. And before they go, she's like, "Hey, is this dangerous?" He's like, "No, I got it. I got it." And then they, pause after they ski down the route for a little bit, and Ebba, the wife, she's nowhere to be seen. Um, then Tomas decides to run back into the snow to find her, and it's just the kids by themselves. It's like kind of it's a very tense moment of like what is happening here. And then he comes back holding her, and he's victorious. And then he's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then she goes back and gets her skis. What do we think is going on here?
I don't know. I think that this movie is nearly perfect. I'm not Ruben Ostlund. I'm not as decorated. I'm not the same kind of writer or director, but I simply would have ended the movie here. Like I would have ended the movie with him going to find her and not giving closure to whether he does.
Yeah,
Cuz
just on the kids.
yeah, cuz I think
Yeah.
that's kind of what Tomas's character deserves. Like he doesn't deserve a second chance really, and the
Hmm.
movie lets him have that. And I think that that's one of the kind of like weaker parts of the film
So
to me.
in this moment though, do we think Ebba purposefully
Oh,
like got
yes.
lost? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
I
think so,
think
right?
she personally, yes, I think she's testing him.
And then he goes back to do it. I don't think she's even testing him in the fact that she's um uh giving him this opportunity to feel good about himself, that he can now choose to make the right decision, even if she's never in any danger, that it's like I got to make him feel like a man again or whatever.
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could interpret it that way or just like I'm going to I'm going to scare him. Like I'm going to give him. I mean, I think your interpretation is more likely because it's after his breakdown,
And I think
but
she cares more
yeah.
about keeping the family together, which is why I'm because she,
Yeah,
and also just to speak on her a little bit, because we've said Tomas a lot. She's great. The actress is great.
Ebba,
The character is great. Is incredible.
great work.
She has to put up with a lot. The way she handles the different breakdowns, or like talking through each thing, is
Yeah.
so well done.
But I
But yeah.
think that the reason why I think I've kind of hesitate on her like giving him a hero moment is that yes, I think she cares very much about keeping her family together. I don't know if she cares I don't know if she cares that deeply about him at that
Mm,
moment.
yeah.
Like I think that she's, you know, I don't know if she would be feeling that charitable toward him,
Mhm.
or that she loves him that deeply that she's going to like move past it and give him this moment. That would take a lot of strength that I don't think even the strongest woman on this earth. Like I'm not sure if I could do that.
Yeah. I mean, she also, it's in the her kids get to see their dad as a hero again, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, he has a big moment and he's
After this
putting
moment
his
where
family first.
they all
Yeah.
hugged him while he was crying. I forgot
Oh
about
my
that. They all,
god.
and
Yeah,
then the
yeah,
kids were
yeah.
begging their mom to hug him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sad.
So then that
Child of
leads
divorce
us,
energy.
yeah.
The second ending.
So the second ending, I love this. I want to also say that like Ruben Ostlund was inspired by a lot of viral YouTube videos, and this last ending was inspired by a video titled "Idiot Spanish Bus Driver Almost Kills Students." Incredible. Um, so the ending, they're taking a bus out of the resort back down to, presumably where they've parked or whatever, somewhere,
Civilization. Hmm.
civilization. And it's a very winding road, and the bus keeps like jolting. And the way it's shot is very, very harrowing because it feels like you could go over the cliff at any time.
Hmm.
And so eventually Ebba gets so scared that she asks him to stop the bus, and she gets off before her kids. She gets off by herself,
Hmm.
and then we get cut to a wide shot, and we see that there are guardrails and stuff on this road. This bus is just being like, it's just basically like hitting and having to turn. I've been in cars like this before, but it's scary. And then all the people get off the bus, are convinced to get off the bus, and they have
Hmm.
to walk down the rest of the way. And then as they're
Yeah.
walking, Tomas is holding his son's hand. Some guy offers him a cigarette, and then he takes it, and his son's like, "Oh, I didn't know you smoked," and he's like, "Yeah, I smoke," and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah, I don't I think Ruben Ostlund loves motion in his movies.
Yeah.
The boat in Triangle of Sadness, another good example of that, where the camera is literally making you queasy the whole time,
Hmm.
for like all of the second act. But I just I've seen the movie multiple times now, and I just don't vibe with this ending.
I
But
mean,
I
because
think that
then,
this is the more European ending. I think that the
yeah,
more American ending is ending on the slopes where the kids like are cheering and like see their dad as a hero and the family is happy. And I'm not
yeah,
that's not what I want. But yeah, this has always sat a little funny with me.
because like I don't know if he's trying to be like, oh, because she got off this dangerous bus before her children, and then their friend, who we haven't talked about too much, but their friend Matt's is
Yeah.
like women and children off first, but there's no real danger in this situation either. It's kind of like a little maybe like hat on a hat, but it is also just like very mixed on like, I'm just not sure what we
I
wanted.
don't know
Is
what
it
he wants to say. Is the thing.
ultimately, is it like everyone is fallible for like, even though we've gone through this whole thing of being like, well, you should have protected your children, but like in any event anyone could act anyway, right? Like, which kind of goes back to the drama in a sense, but
Yeah. But I
yeah,
don't know.
it's tricky.
I guess that's what it's trying to say. Again, it's just never really sat very well with me as a successful execution of that, if
Same.
that's what
Yeah.
it's going for.
Yeah.
I think the cigarette thing is funny, but
Definitely
like
funny. Yeah.
it's really funny. It's a funny ending, but is it like satisfying? Is it, making a point? No, not to me.
Yeah.
So
Same.
yeah, this movie 4.5 stars. Fumbles the bag at the end.
Just one last note then. Brady Corbet, director of The Brutalist,
Mm,
is the American guy in this movie.
the
Pretty
American.
crazy. Um, and yeah, I guess maybe one day I'll just watch Downhill and just get really sad about it.
Yeah, it's kind of a depressing watch, and I say that as somebody who deeply loves Julie Louis Dreyfus. Um, it's just yeah, it's the American version, and it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
Which is
Well,
why I decided to choose this as a pairing because I kind of think that the drama is the American version of this
even though
school shooting and all.
Yeah, and even though Nicholas Borgli is a Norwegian filmmaker.
Yes, and that's why he can comment on this as an
Yeah.
outsider.
Christopher Borgli, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh,
But other than
Great
that,
pairing. Really
it's
great
it
pairing.
is great pairing. Thanks to me. A plus. No. But we had talked about some alt pairings. We had talked about doing a romantic comedy with this to kind of balance it out, to lighten it
Hmm.
up. And I obviously resisted that impulse, but I was thinking of my best friend's wedding, because we were thinking rom-coms, like classic rom-coms that you haven't seen specifically.
Oh
And I
yeah,
was
yeah.
trying to think of that. And I feel like my best friend's wedding is the one that, like, it's wedding centric, and it's
Hmm.
also like the lead female character is arguably just, it's not the same, but it's she's not a good person.
Yeah, yeah.
She's trying to break up her best friend's wedding,
Right.
so that she can be with him. Um, but I don't know. I didn't have a lot of other ideas.
Yeah.
Mostly I was thinking of maybe also romantic comedies that are have multiple interpretations to them, that are kind of like, I was thinking even 500 Days of Summer, because people
Oh, that
often
would have been
misinterpret
interesting.
that one.
Yeah.
Um,
Me?
they're
That's me.
yeah, to
I'm a
you,
top
yeah.
top 500 Days of Summer misinterpreter, trust me.
Oof, Lord. Um, that is the origin of like so many of our societal issues. I can trace it back to 500 Days of Summer.
Oh
I am
no.
so serious. Someday we'll do an episode of 500 Days of Summer, and I'm gonna need you to hold me back.
And I'm gonna have to talk about how it influenced me to become a filmmaker.
That's so embarrassing. I'm never gonna let you live that down. As a friend, I feel like I can't.
It was 500 Days of Summer was the gateway, and then Fantastic Mr. Fox.
If anyone asks, you just keep saying Fantastic Mr. Fox. Like, just
What do you
don't
think I've been
admit
doing
that
for
to
the
anyone.
last 10
Yeah,
years?
just don't admit that to anyone else.
This isn't being recorded,
Espe-
right?
this is not being recorded, obviously. This is just the test.
No, I think I'm old enough now and I have enough distance to it and understanding of it to recognize like how like formative that movie was for me, while also still recognizing that like how much I misread it as like a very, I mean, because it came out when we were in middle school,
It did.
and
Yeah.
just like being really young at that time, and like just totally, and also watching tons of rom-coms. All like my mom would always rent rom-coms, and we would just have them on all the time at home. So just
And
like
yet you
being in
haven't
that
seen my
vein.
best friend's wedding.
No, no, no.
Key Julia
Just
Roberts
2000s,
text.
just early mid 2000s rom-coms.
Oh, so
Uh
bad ones.
yeah,
Okay.
27
God.
dresses.
Disgusting.
um but you know what I was, but anyways, so 500 summer episode incoming, I guess at some point. We'll get into all that then.
TikTok.
Stay tuned for the podcast. The other movie I was thinking, speaking of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I didn't see it, but do you think that movie she did with Tobias Menzies, You Hurt My Feelings, would have been an interesting pairing if it had
Oh, I
come
did
out
see
longer
that.
ago?
Mm, I
Or is
did
it a
see
little
that.
different?
It's a little like, it's definitely much lighter, but
Yeah.
that movie, I like that movie. It's kind of about a wife who's a renowned author catching her husband, um like giving her fake praise, or that he doesn't actually like her new book
Mm,
or something like that, like that
yeah.
she kind of, I think she overhears him talking to their friends and saying that like he doesn't like it, and
Got it. Yeah.
he refuses to own up to it. So I would have been interesting. It's another like, yeah, like you're deep in your marriage, and like why are you
Mm.
still lying to each other even about something small, like, that could have been interesting. You're just on a Julie Louis Dreyfus kick.
I mean, I love her.
Who doesn't? She's a national treasure.
Yeah, truly.
Um, but I think, yeah, that it was a short list of alt pairings this time around.
Yeah. Well, let us know if what other pairings you would have made with this movie, with the drama, as I'm sure many
The
are going out
drama.
to see it. If you're listening to us on audio, make sure you leave a review or comment, and don't forget to check out the video versions of these on YouTube. Back to the Future Pod. You can see Gabby's AMC koozie. I'm sure there's other visual moments that played really well. Me laughing and saying this is the funniest thing Gabby's ever said on the podcast.
You
That
were
probably
like
plays pretty
not
well.
you were not breathing. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you just like stopped breathing. And it's
it was
funny
one
because
of
I
those
was
like
not.
silent laughters. Yeah.
I was being dead serious. That was not a joke.
I know.
I can't stress that enough.
I was really just hung up on shadow beings, to be honest.
I'm writing it
uh,
down.
you can follow the podcast on Letterboxd and Back to the Pod, and on Instagram and Back to the Feature Pod, where we repost lots of funny videos and memes. Thanks for listening. We'll catch ya next time. See ya.
Bye.